Shator, your favorite realtor with Attraction Realty, where I'm attracting you to your next home. So I'm coming live to you today for a Talk to Me Tuesday. So those that have been following me know that I go live every Tuesday at noon to talk about all things related to real estate. So today, let's talk home inspection. I highly recommend that if you're looking to purchase or sell your home, that you actually get your home inspected by a licensed professional. I would never recommend that you purchase a home without doing a proper inspection. It's highly important to know the actual condition of a home and things that could affect your cost of living in the future. And so it's important to know how much is this house going to actually cost you when it comes to repairs. So today I have the pleasure of having a special guest, Mr. Gerald Coker with Coker and Family Home Inspections. I have a few inspectors inspectors that I work with, but Gerald is my number one guy to go to. And the reason being because he comes out in a timely fashion. He's professional, very detailed in his inspections, and he doesn't really kill deals, but everything is done exactly how it needs to benefit for me and my client. So Gerald, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit more about Coker and Family Home Inspections and what you do.
So Coker and Family Home Inspections is a home inspection business that I run solely by myself at the moment. We've been in business only for 2 years, but I've been inspecting for a total of 7.5 years now. So pretty much all I do is, if you're a buyer or a seller trying to get a pre-listing, I just basically come on in and inspect your home for you.
Okay. So what are the things that you're looking to inspect inside of our property?
So can they see my acronym up on the screen?
Absolutely.
So if you look at inspection, I created an acronym. I'm just going to go through it very simply. I stands for infrared imagery. Now, infrared imagery comes really it comes in handy when it comes to looking up, where possible leaks are. I was at a home the other day inspecting. It was a 2-level house. So as you know, there was 2 bathrooms upstairs and 1 downstairs. Well, when you have bathrooms upstairs, you have plumbing that runs from upstairs to go downstairs, obviously. Well, as I was running the water and I come downstairs and I use my flashlight, you really can't see where possible leaks are. But when I use my infrared gun, and unfortunately I don't have pictures to show you, it'll let me know if you run the hot water upstairs, where that water is streaming to. And for sure, I did find a leak somewhere. It was right above the kitchen where the guest bathroom upstairs in the hallways was. So infrared imagery comes it comes in handy when you're looking for stuff that's overheating. I have found breakers in the electrical panel that is overheating more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not good. I've found, like I said, leaks, moisture in the walls, all kinds of stuff. So it comes really in handy. And it's for no safety hazards. That's kind of self-explanatory. Are there carbon monoxide alarms in the house if there's a gas-fired appliance, whether that be a furnace, a stove, or even a water heater? It is very important to have carbon monoxide alarms when you have gas connected to the house, whether you're using gas or not. Why? Because carbon monoxide is tasteless and it's odorless, and it can cause death. It's a slow killer. So, and of course, another safety hazard is making sure that you have smoke alarms in the house. Every home should have smoke alarms, whether it be in the hallway or in each room. New builds today, they're requesting that it be in every room and in the hallways. S, structure and foundation, if the home is on a crawl space, is a structure good under there? There's times in crawl spaces where I see the foundation it's using jacks, like metal jacks. Well, those can shift at times with the earth, and it's really not, it's approved in some cases, but I always typically write it up because it's not good for a structure in the home if it's on a crawl space. P for plumbing, checking to make sure that all the plumbing under the kitchen and bathroom sinks are approved for usage. Are they leaking? Are they using the right plumbing components? And when I say plumbing components, is it using flex piping for sink drains? That's not approved at all with code today. Another thing with plumbing is if you're on a crawl space, Is your plumbing in your crawl space leaking? I always typically run the water whether if it's cold or hot, and I find a lot of leaks in people's crawl spaces, which can lead to moisture, mold, and eventually could rot out the subflooring in the crawl space, which goes back to structure and foundation. Electrical, and again, I'm just kind of going through this kind of fast because I can go all day. Electrical, is your home grounded properly electrically? Meaning, is it not going to, cause a house fire? Do you have GFCIs? And GFCIs is ground fault circuit interrupter protection, which basically, in simpler terms, shock proof. Do you have them anywhere where it's wet? Laundry rooms, bathrooms, kitchens, garages, and exterior. Cooling and heating. Is your furnace electric? Is it gas? Is it working properly? What's the normal lifespan of an air conditioning unit is 10 to 15 years. A furnace is 15 to 20. So I'm testing all of those things out, making sure that your home is cooling properly, is heating properly. T for termites. Now, I am not a state certified pest control expert. So when I say that, yes, I am looking for possible termite damage. I was at a home a month and a half ago in Decatur, and I found a lot of termite damage, wood destroying organisms in the kitchen, just eating through the woods. Termites, they live underground and they need moisture, even in houses, to be able to cause damage. So they'll create these mud tubes. And again, I'm sorry, I don't have a picture to show you. They'll create these mud tubes, and I can see activity in houses. So if I see that, I call it out and I write that up. Is your home properly insulated? I for insulation. I was in the attic yesterday at a renovated house and there was no insulation up in the attic. So what does that say? In the summertime, it's going to stay hot. In the wintertime, it's going to stay cold. It's just good for energy efficiency. Observe and report. Obviously, I'm looking around the house, doing a walk around in the home, and I'm reporting. I use a tablet, a Samsung Galaxy tablet, and it's very efficient. I can get my reports done. By the time I walk off the property, the report is 95% complete due to the updates I have on it. And lastly, non-approved renovations. This is very, 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 very important because a lot of homes these days, in some counties, you have to have permits to do electrical work, HVAC work, even installing windows, demolition, add-ons. Again, I was at a house yesterday. If you can go to my Instagram at Coker Inspections, I did a whole video on how these contractors did this renovation work. There was no water line for the refrigerator in the kitchen. There was nowhere to put a dishwasher. One of the switch for the guest bathroom in the hallway was outside. There was a switch inside, but the switch inside didn't control the lighting. There was no duct for the dryer in the big laundry room that they had. It was just a mess. Non-approved renovations, that is something that's very important as a homeowner. You want to make sure that the sellers pull proper permits because it can cause a lot of problems. Back in October, I inspected a house where I put in a report to make sure that the permits were pulled, and the real estate agent did not check for permits. And when the homeowner moved in, the plumbing, every time he flushed the toilet, it was not draining to the sewer. It was just draining in the yard. And in every report, if a house is more than 15 years old, I'm putting in there, inspect the plumbing lines. Now that's something that us as inspectors, we don't have to do. We don't have to do a sewer line scope to see the condition, but I always make sure on the age of the home when I'm looking at the plumbing, like, hey, this house needs a sewer scope. But that just goes back to non-approved renovations. Some of these contractors are not licensed electricians, plumbers, HVAC people to do this work, and you need a permit to do these things. So that pretty much sums up, in a nutshell, inspection as to what I look for during an inspection.
Okay. And it sounds like you do a lot. That's why you're so thorough with it. But what don't you inspect? Because I know you said that you're not a certified termite inspector, but you do put that in your report if you see signs of it. Yeah. So what are the other things that you don't inspect, like when it comes to, what about mold or lead-based paint, asbestos, things of that nature?
Well, asbestos in asbestos and lead-based paint, that's not something that I touch. I always just tell someone to, get a professional with that. When it comes to mold, I do check for mold. You can see mold, you can smell mold. But as far as what kind of mold you have that's running in there, and make no mistake, people, there is mold everywhere. Just like we have good bacteria and bad bacteria in our bodies, there's mold everywhere. There's just no getting away from it. But some people just want to know what kind of mold, because some people are, have allergic reaction to certain type of things. So I do test the air for mold to see what kind there is. Something else that I do not inspect is outbuildings. Now, if it's a living dwelling, like say an in-law suite that's separate from the house, I'll inspect that. But if it's like a shed, a tool shed or something like that, I'm not inspecting that. That's not a living dwelling. Now, if it's a separate garage, yeah, I'll inspect it. Something else that I really don't touch now, as far as the roof is concerned, I will get up to the edge, and if it is safe, I will get on top of the roof. But I have a really good eye as to, the normal life expectancy of a roof, and knowing if it's towards the end of its lifespan or if it has exceeded its lifespan. Something else, I mean, that's pretty much it. Lead-based paint, asbestos, and outbuildings, pretty much stuff. Oh, and septic tanks. I don't inspect septic tanks. That's more of a plumber's thing to do. Now, as far as looking at putting a camera down into the sewer lines, that is something that I do at an extra charge. But that is something that a typical home inspector doesn't have to do. It's not in our standards of practice to have to do that either.
Okay, absolutely. So how long does these inspections take to get the report? Because I know you said you have 95% of the report completed before you leave.
Yeah. Now, depending on my schedule, if I have, during this time of the year, I could probably knock out 4 to 5 in a day, but it is guaranteed that once I complete the inspection, if I have nothing else to do, you're going to get your report right there on the spot, maybe 35, 40 minutes after I'm completed. But you always get it back the same day. And it normally takes an inspection for me, let's just say average ranch home, 1 level, 3 bed, 2.5 baths. It could probably take me about 1 hour and 45 minutes to complete, depending upon its condition. A house that's on a crawl space is going to take longer because I got to get in the crawl space. I got to look at the plumbing. I got to check the structure of the home, look for termite activity. But always, like I said, I know I said it once, I'll say it again, you're going to always get your report back the same day. Sometimes before I even drive off, it just all depends, because I know time is of the essence, within this market. People are listing agents are saying, hey, you got 1 day, and so I get it. I really get it. It's competitive out here, but I'm not a home inspector. You're not going to get your report the very next day. You're going to get it that day, sometime between the time I finish and before midnight. You're definitely going to get it.
And that's why I like working with you, because everything is fast. So as we know, especially dealing with first-time homeowners or first-time home buyers, they like to pick apart the inspection. And we know the inspection can be lengthy. No house is perfect. Even a brand new house is going to have some things on it, correct? So correct. What is the major things that we're looking for on a report?
So the major things you're looking for in a report is plumbing, electrical, and HVAC, and safety hazards. Those are the 4 things: plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and safety hazards. Those are very, very important, because that's basically the whole home. Because you want to make sure you don't have any leaks. You want to make sure that the house is wired properly electrically, because you don't want any house fires. And of course, you want to make sure that your home cools and heat properly. And you don't want any type of safety hazards. Safety hazards are stuff like, if I can't open a window in a bedroom, that's a major safety hazard, because if there's ever a fire, you have to have some type of way to escape. If you have exterior doors like a front, back door, side door, whatever, garage door, and it's a double keyed outside and inside, that is a major safety hazard, because if you can't get out the house if there's ever a fire. So those are the main things that, and when I deliver my reports via email to my clients and realtors, you'll get a summary and you'll get a full. The summary is just condensing only the important stuff, while the full is just stuff like, I take pictures of things working, like sinks, faucets, shower heads. Hey, your water pressure is fine, but this is your water pressure and stuff like that. just things to, just informative, like where's your water shutoff valve? That's not something that needs to be on your report, but it's very helpful in the event if you have a leak in your home and you need to instantly cut it off without going outside trying to find a water meter, because most people don't know what their water meter is. So that's pretty much like the basis of what's important in an inspection report.
Okay, and then you typically put everything in red anyway of what's highly, highly important.
Yeah, if it's got a red cross on it, that it definitely needs to be addressed, most definitely.
Okay. And so I know that every house is different, but what is your average price point of what you charge for your clients?
Yeah, so my average price point, if it's a condominium, no more than 300. If it's a condo, no more than 300. If it's a ranch, you're probably gonna, depending upon the square footage and the age of the home, you're probably looking no more than 340. It just all depends, folks. As you see on the screen here, we have a sale every single month. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have an April spring sale coming up. We're gonna have a whole May special just dedicated to moms. You get a discount if you're a mom or whatever. There's always a discount going for first-time home buyers, whether if it's a percentage off or amount off. Like for March, $30 off for a first-time home buyer, 15% off of your public health worker, service worker. That even goes for if you're a fireman, police officer, if you're in the healthcare field, definitely our veterans, our disabled people. We're always trying to look to help people out as far as pricing when it comes to home inspection, because we understand a home inspection, Georgia is a state where it is not required to have a home inspection, but it's highly recommended. So we want to make sure that we're looking out for your pockets as well. So.
Okay. And then for those that are looking to purchase outside of Georgia, what other areas do you operate in?
Oh, just Georgia.
Oh, just Georgia?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So that's pretty much everything. I just wanted to share with others the defined way of what we're doing when we're doing a home inspection and things that we need to be mindful of, because the home inspection, it just has so many things that people don't think about, especially for those that's looking to have home offices nowadays, and the rooms that they want to use can't even equip to have technology.
Right.
So, everything is important with what you're putting in the inspection. So thank you so much for sharing. And then how can people find you on social media?
You can find me on social media at Coker Home Inspections on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook if you just type in Gerald Coker or Coker Family Home Inspections. And of course, my number is on the flyer right here, 470-991-5501. And our website is www.cokerinspections.com.
All right. Well, that's all that we have today for Talk to Me Tuesday. I will be back tomorrow for Hump Day House Hunting, where I'll go live featuring a house in the local community. And that's tomorrow at noon. So then we'll be back next Tuesday at noon for Talk to Me Tuesday. So thank you so much, and you guys have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.